I mean, those are some of the things, that we could talk about. I mean, I could talk about that all day long. We're here to talk about statement, though. So this company is relatively young. It's only been a couple of years or a year and a half.
Yep.
You were handpicked by them from a selected group of the ambassadors to represent this company.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that process? Because I think that's something that young barbers also, who have aspirations of working for brands and being these types of ambassadors, I mean, what's involved with that? How did it come to be for you?
So we have the creators, right? So everyone knows the creators.
Right.
On here, we'll show you guys through them. But
Yep.
you got Sophie and Julius. Those two were I think the people that kind of picked me because I knew them personally. But everybody gets together collectively, and they really pick who they want alongside them. Not in a sense of like no one wants another Sophie. We don't need another Julius.
Right.
What we want is a collective group of individuals. So when they say, "What's your statement?" everyone has something so different.
I didn't even realize that. So that's great.
I mean, even like with Miguel, what he does is so different compared to if you look at like Sophie, Julius, and Miguel. Like everybody is just so completely different. And then if you look at the ambassadors that were brought on, you've got CJ, you've got Zach, who's like super technical in everything he does. CJ the barber, he's so creative. He kind of reminds me of a Julius, but like in a very, like Julius has kind of like created this pathway for these young barbers where you've got CJ, he's a young barber, but he's so nasty. Like he's one of those dudes 5 years in, and he blows me out of the water. And I've been cutting for 20 years, so
Right.
Everybody's got a little something to offer. You've got Jovan, who's out of Miami. He's just like, I mean, everybody's just so good at what they do, and in their own way and authentic. They've gone off the beaten path as an individual, and I think that stood out to the creators. But the company actually really wanted to pick who was going to be the ambassadors, and the creator said, we're picking them, and that's
Wow.
And they
Probably
wouldn't move
better.
forward. Yeah, they
way.
wouldn't move
No
forward
offense.
unless they did. So it was really special to get that phone call, and also kind of like, what is this? Because
So you were recommended by Julius and Sophie.
Yes, and then I met Miguel for the first time a few weeks ago. He's Nomad the barber.
Nomad, right?
Yep.
Nomad, right? I'm sorry. what
Yeah,
was
I'll
the
call him
third?
Nomad because everyone knows each other through Instagram.
Nomad.
days,
Nobody knows Miguel. Everybody knows
Yeah,
Nomad.
everyone knows Miguel. So, everyone knows Nomad, but like I met him for the first time, and like his experiences in traveling the world, cutting hair to learn the culture in so many different environments. That is truly who he is inside.
That's cool.
And then you got Sophie, who's like barely cutting hair anymore. She's just really into creating the products for the people, and her videography, and just like taking off on a whole different artistic level.
Right.
And you got Julius is just holding the fort down, who's basically like, the OG of like painting and drawing on heads.
Right.
And like, I mean, it's cool.
Is that what his history is?
Yeah, I mean, he's so artistic, but like he'll shave the head down, bleach it out, paint it all different ways. Like he's just very cool. But on top of it, I think they're looking for people to create more of the lifestyle of the brand. So it's like when we think about barbering and we think about statement, we want to make sure that our products are gender fluid, that they're good for longer lengths, shorter lengths. We put a lot of effort into that, and we want, like, these aren't products that are going to be for everyone.
Right.
It is definitely a lifestyle that they're going for, so it's
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the Statement brand is owned by a very large international company who I am very familiar with, and I've sold some of their brands in my recent and far off past. And I mean, in the world that I operate in the beauty industry, they're just a beast.
Yeah.
You know, they acquire companies like I pick up socks, you know, they
Totally.
pick them up all the time. I think barbers would be surprised to know who this company really is and what some of the name brands that are behind them or that they're behind.
Yeah.
So can you shed some light on that
So I'm
first?
still learning everything about Henkel because
Yeah.
there's a lot to know. Henkel's
It's a
been
long
around, so
history.
it's kind of it's our mother. Henkel is our mother, our father brand, right? So we're like a subdivision underneath Henkel. So we have all the support to make sure that the barbering industry gets what it needs.
Right.
Right. So they own anything from dial soap.
They do.
They own tons of different
Loctite.
They own tons of different industry products as well. So you got like Big Sexy Hair, which was and is still very big, very huge.
Alterna.
Yeah,
Kenra,
Alterna,
Joico.
Kenra, you got Joico, you got My Identity, you've got, you've got name brands that have changed the industry in its time and is still continuing to change. You've got people and educators in these brands that have been with them for 20 years.
Right.
Like that's kind of unheard of in our
I'll tell you, when I started in the beauty industry, I think they had one or two brands. They've acquired a lot of them on the way. The company Henkel, which is Henkel, the reason that wouldn't sound familiar to a barber is because they don't go by that. They go by Statement, they go by Joico, they go by, all these different brands. I believe they started over 100 years ago as a knife manufacturing company. They were a cutlery company, a German, German cutlery, Japanese cutlery.
Like Henkel knives
Right.
that I've had for 20 something
And
years.
so, in one hand, you could say you couldn't be further away from the beauty industry than cutlery, but the truth is that's not true. Because we use scissors every single day. So
Absolutely.
it is very much a natural progression. They probably got into the manufacture of, different types of hair scissors, and that's probably what led them to the beauty industry. But their past, I would urge anybody to look up their Wikipedia page and learn about the company that's behind Statement. If anybody could make this line work, they could.
They've put a lot into us, into the barbering industry. No one, there's a lot of brands out there, and there's a lot of independent brands, and you can only do so much independently.
Right.
So we didn't want to take away from that. We wanted to create something that is it's a statement in time. It's timeless, and it's going to grow with all we're already creating our products for 2025. For what's to come. So we have to think about where is the industry and how can we help it? How can we let it? What's missing and where can we grow?
So
they're so amazing at helping us figure that out. Like the team that they sent in behind us, they're out of Germany,
right?
And so we met with a couple of them recently, and the questions that they ask are, I'm so honored to be a part of it because the questions that they ask. I'm like, damn, I'm actually making a difference here. My opinion matters. And so I'm not talking for me. I'm talking for every single barber or stylist out there that wants to get into shorter hair lengths. What do we need and what is missing and how can we grow?
So would you say that that's what sets them apart from all of these dozens and dozens of other barber brands that the world doesn't need another pomade or a hairspray, obviously, but what is it that sets them apart and what is it that we can expect from them in the future as a company?
Yeah, so the company itself, you hit it head on, it's a huge company. So everything that they, there's not one thing that isn't thought of, put it that way. So there's only so much you can do at a time because we are, even though we're Henkel, we're a puppy brand. We launched during COVID.
Right.
So that's why you're just kind of starting to see it get out there a little bit more. But we're still very on budget. We're still very we can't go to every show. So the shows that we go to, we have to make sure that those are the right ones.
Right.
So you're seeing where you see us at the shows, we're there because it was very carefully thought out to be there. But what you'll see is, I think you'll start to see a few more ambassadors get on. right? So you're going to have different educators, right? So ambassadors you're going to see as like it's your education team. We've really created and buckled down our trend shops and our barbershop education, meaning that when we do go out, we're also very different at what we do, but we do have a curriculum that we go by so that you guys get the most out of the education. Because even though we're creating this product brand, we kind of want to take in what salons did, right? Where it's like, all right, you're buying this product brand, we want you to use it how you want to, but also want to show you what it's capable of. So what sets us apart, kind of going back to your other question of what sets us apart from maybe all the other brands out there, I say for a Barber brand is it being cocktailable, meaning you can use and mix and like a mixology. And then also the fact that we're already thinking about 2025. So right now starts for 2025. We're about to launch a couple products for this year. I think they're coming out in September. Very hydrating, very great products. I don't want to tell you exactly what they are, but they are going to be what you see is missing from us right now.
Right.
So a little bit more hydrating products, maybe things for curly hair. The scents are always so good. We're going to stick with those scents.
Right.
But we talk about the lifestyle and we're like, should we come out with a body spray? Should we come out with a room spray? Like things that make the full experience. So there's not one thing that isn't thought of. It's just timing and what is needed now.
Right.
You know?
And probably trends.
Yes.
So let me ask you, are there opportunities for young barbers who want to become ambassadors to get involved with this company? If there are, what's the process? How do they get involved with Statement if it's something that they want to add to their resume?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that because Statement, the ambassadors are always handpicked, getting to know the creators is going to be your biggest thing. So I would say like, not only, it's not just about Instagram and following us, but when you do see us at a show, it's about introducing yourself, telling us what you love about the product, what would you like about the product, what's your favorite, what's going to set you apart.
Right.
And then also, it's not just posting it on Instagram. We love that, and we want all that, but we want to know, like, why. So I would say there's definitely opportunity for people, older, younger, doesn't matter. But I would say that getting to know the creators is going to be your biggest in if that's something that you want.
Interesting.
Yeah.